Hello, nerds! Thank you once again for watching Generally Nerdy. This is your week in Nerdom Movies edition for the week of Christmas 2017. If you are one that celebrates Christmas, then I hope you had a merry one. If you are one that celebrates any other holiday around about this time, then definitely hope you had a good one of those. This week for movies, we are talking about the Gambit movie, which just keeps going up and down and up and down. We're talking about the Ocean's 8 crap that's going on with that movie. And we are also talking about some interesting developments in the Han Solo camp. All that, plus more. But first, let's hit up that intro.
Quiet on the set, rolling.
Hi, I am Bitsy Telek.
Hey, I'm Hale Appleman.
I'm Walter Kane.
I'm Rene Aubergenois. Odo on Deep Space Nine.
Michael Dorn, Lieutenant Commander Worf, Star Trek The Next Generation.
Come and see me and hear me and talk to me and listen to me talk about myself.
Hey man, this is Kevin Smith, often considered generally nerdy, and you are listening to what is often considered generally nerdy.
On Generally Nerdy.
You're listening to
Generally Nerdy.
Generally Nerdy.
Generally nerdy.
Gambit is the first bit we're talking about, and I don't know what to make of all of these news announcements, because one week it's on delay, and the next week it never was delayed, and then it's delayed again, and it's going to be pushed back 3 months, and then we're getting pushed up, and right now it seems that we're back on. We are set to release on Valentine's Day, and we also got the announcement of potentially of a new villain in the movie. Now, we're fairly certain that the primary antagonist is going to be Mr. Sinister, hopefully played by Daniel Craig. Like, I can only freaking hope, because that would be perfect. I would love Daniel Craig as a villain, especially Mr. Sinister, like one of the most dynamic X-Men villains we have. And they've teased him in the Wolverine, or not Wolverine, which one was it? Crap, which one was it? Days of Future, no. Apocalypse. They teased him in Apocalypse, I believe. Yeah. Anyway, it was his company that got the DNA, and then all of the things, and the that's what led into Logan. Yeah, it was Apocalypse. Anyway, so Mr. Sinister is going to be the primary antagonist, but they announced at least casting for a character named Donnell Thrasher, who in the comic books goes by the alias of Bandit, who is kind of a nemesis for Mr. Remy LeBeau, aka Gambit. He is the rival of affection for Belladonna, and I can't remember who was cast as Belladonna, but we got a new character. With it coming out on Valentine's Day, it kind of makes sense that we're going to get some sort of love triangle thing going on. How much of an obstacle he's going to be for Gambit is definitely yet to be seen. Probably won't really know that until the movie comes out. So I'm stoked. They just announced that the budget for this movie is going to be huge, like bigger than Deadpool and Logan. So this is, I mean, they're giving it the proper Fox Marvel at least, treatment, which I don't know how that's going to translate in the story, because it seems the bigger budget movies kind of lack in story and have more holes and all that jazz. So very interesting. Definitely going to keep our eyes on it, because we have been this whole time, so why not continue? But right now we are moving on to Bright, the Netflix movie that just came out. I have yet to watch it, but it would seem that Netflix has already ordered a sequel. In spite of the fact that it's getting relatively mixed at best reviews. Not a whole lot of people seem to be big fans of Bright. I haven't watched it yet, like I said. Have you watched it yet? What do you think? Is it worthy of a sequel? I mean, Will Smith's not a horrible actor, and Joel Edgerton is a pretty good actor. So that would, if it is a bad movie, that would fall on the head of the writer and or director, I would imagine. So maybe they're going to course correct with the sequel and we'll get a better version of this movie. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's talk about that one, if you please. Moving along, though, we're talking Han Solo. Paul Bettany, who we know is in the movie, but we have very little idea of to what extent he's in the movie, was just talking to Total Film, the website Total Film, and he described the movie as a bit of a gangster movie and a caper movie. So there's going to be some sort of caper where they're robbing something, and I mean, it's Han Solo. He's a freaking smuggler, so that makes sense. But who's Paul Bettany to Han Solo? Is Paul Bettany the villain? It kind of sounds like he might be. Where I just lost my notes again. There we go. Also, awesome news about Han Solo is we very, very likely will see a trailer, or at least a teaser for the trailer, before the end of 2017. So sometime this week we will be seeing that trailer. So that I'm super stoked for. And then we'll have all kinds of speculation to go over once that launches. Until then, though, we're moving on. The next bit is Fantastic Beasts, Crimes of, Grindelwald, I don't know, has finished primary photography. And Johnny Depp is still in it, for all of you fun people. Johnny Depp is still in the movie. They did not recast him. They did finish primary photography, which means we are on schedule. We will be getting this movie sometime next year. Very likely towards the end. It will probably have to compete with Han Solo. Super excited. I really dug the first movie. I probably dug it more than the actual Harry Potter movies. So there you go. Moving along, though, we're talking about The Grinch. Since it is Christmas, makes sense that we would talk about The Grinch. Why would we talk about The Grinch on a news show? Because they're making a new Grinch movie. It's going to be a prequel to the original animated movie, not the Jim Carrey movie. It's a prequel done by Illumination Studios, the DreamWorks. DreamWorks? I believe so. It's also the studio that does the Despicable Me movies, the Minions movie, and is in talks to do the Mario movie with Nintendo. So there's nothing to complain about there. I'm super excited about that. I really like both Grinch movies. They're staples in my yearly Christmas movie watching. So let's add another one to it. Why not? And then we're moving into Infinity War. We got both Caitlin Olsen, or all three rather, Caitlin Olsen, Scarlett Johansson, and Paul Bettany have finished have wrapped for shooting on Infinity War. Does that mean they might be some of the casualties of this movie if they're done filming so early? Possibly. Also, a thing I want to throw out there for you guys that we can definitely talk about down low about Infinity War. Are we going to get any sort of cameo from the newly purchased Fox Marvel mutants? I can't explain why, but I really feel like there's going to be one of the post-credit scenes, and they're going to have Hugh Jackman, and it'll be the very last time we see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. But there's some part of my brain in the back somewhere just kicking around that they're going to do that, and that will be like the signal into this new phase of Marvel movies that we're about to get. So yeah, do you guys think that there's any basis to that hunch that I have? Let's definitely discuss. And then our final bit of movie news is Ocean's 8. If you are unaware, Ocean's 8, we talked about it when it was originally announced, but we haven't talked about it since, and they are nearing completion on the production. There has recently, it was announced that Matt Damon was going to have a cameo in the movie. Really cool, you might say. Or, if you are one of like 22,000 people who signed a petition, really not cool. The petition they're signing is to get Matt Damon's cameo removed from the movie. Why would they want to do this? Matt Damon hasn't done anything wrong, has he? No, he really freaking hasn't. But in the eyes of some people, because he worked so closely with Harvey Weinstein, that implies that he had some sort of knowledge of the horrible way Harvey was treating women and didn't do anything about it. A situation that Matt Damon has outright denied in no uncertain terms. A few big name actors like Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck also was working very closely with Harvey Weinstein and also had no idea that he was such a scumbag. So it just... But there's a Change.org petition being signed by people who want Matt Damon's little cameo in this all-female movie to be removed. I don't know. I don't think that's necessary. And also, I think the thing that tips it more against Damon in some people's eyes, as opposed to someone like Ben Affleck, is because recently in an interview, he said that he thinks that there should be a distinction, not that we shouldn't deal with the issues. He just feels that there should be a distinction between somebody who was harassed and assaulted, because those are two different things. Harassment and assault are different actions. In the eyes of the law, they are very different things. One of them is punishable by prison, one of them is punishable by a fine, kind of. So, I don't think that he's out of line by making that statement. And also in the same interview, he said that he would be willing to work with somebody who was accused of one of those two things. He never said he would work with somebody who was convicted of, but someone who was accused of one of those two things. He would be willing to work with them on a case-by-case basis. Meaning, if they were accused of something that was in the eyes of society deemed relatively minor, he would probably work with them. If they were accused of raping hundreds of women like Harvey Weinstein, he probably wouldn't work with that person because of the nature of the accusation. Until that person was proven irrevocably innocent, then likely he would not work with them. I do not see any issue with that. Why must we make mountains out of ant hills? Not even molehills. Anyway, that brings us to the end of this week's movie video. Let me double check, because I've been known to skip things before. Yep, that's everything. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, definitely hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be reminded when I post videos, you're alerted when I post videos, hit the little bell icon, because that will alert you when a new video has been posted. Definitely go check out the website, www.generallynerdy.net. That's where you can find links to all the social media. You can find some writing that I do. I'm working on a Christmas music blog post right now. And all kinds of other things get posted up there. Plans for adventures in photography, so on and so forth. And if you want to help keep this going, if you want to help me make this content, and I don't mean that just monetarily. If you go to patreon.com/generallynerdy and you jump on for $5 a month, then you can start helping me make these videos. If you jump on for $1 a month, though, that's an option as well, and that gets you early access to all of the videos before they are posted to the public. So, yeah, $1 a month goes a long way, guys. Thank you again for watching this video. Before you go, please always, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.